Very good afternoon, ma'am. Very good afternoon.
Ma'am, Principal, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ma'am, Angelin, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Start பண்ணிடலாமா ma'am?
தொடங்கிடலாங்க ma'am.
Hema? 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 Hema?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. We can start.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Good afternoon to everybody. Communication, the human connection, is the key to personal and career success. The Department of English, in association with the IQAC of M.V.Muthiah Government Arts College for Women, Dindigul, Tamil Nadu, welcomes you all for this one-day webinar on tools for effective communication. I request Dr.G.S.Angelin, Associate Professor and Head, she is the Program Coordinator, Department of English, to welcome all. Ma'am, please, ma'am.
Okay. Respected dignitaries, learned professors, scholars, and students from various departments, institutions, it is my pleasurable privilege to welcome you for the webinar on tools for effective communication. It has been organized jointly by the Department of English and the IQAC of our college. At the outset, I would like to acknowledge the support and encouragement we receive from our principal, who is the brain behind all the activities of our college. We are fortunate to have such an eminent, amiable, and approachable and unassuming principal who is the captain of our ship, M.V.Muthiah Government Arts College for Women. I have immense pleasure in welcoming her. Her valuable time to give the presidential address. On behalf of our department and on behalf of the IQAC, I welcome you to this webinar, madam. I'm happy to welcome our IQAC coordinator, Dr. K.M. Sumathi, who is very enthusiastic and committed in her activities and duties towards the IQAC. I deem it a special privilege to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Lokesh, the managing director and the head trainer of Lady Hawk English Academy, Coimbatore, whose untiring efforts have enriched the language labs in various colleges and universities. He has done a great service to student community through his software and training. Nearly 9,000 students are trained by him at present. He has been with us when the Board of Studies meeting was conducted by the Department of English, Mother Teresa Women's University. His service needs to be acknowledged and rewarded. We are happy that you are with us today, sir. I render you a very warm welcome. My amiable welcome to my amiable professors from various departments and from various institutions. We are indeed honored by your presence with us. My hearty welcome to all the students and scholars from various colleges and from various departments for whose benefit this program has been organized. Once again, I welcome you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your concise welcome address. Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Yes, our respected principal makes us to see follow, and execute our endeavors with her encouragement. May I request our respected principal to deliver the presidential address.
நன்றிம்மா. அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். சிறப்பு விருந்தினரை பற்றி மிக அழகாக அறிமுகம் செய்தார் நம்முடைய ஆங்கிலத்துறை தலைவர். 9,000 பேரை இவர் பயிற்சி அளித்து முன்னேற்றி இருக்கிறார் என்பதை கேட்கும் போதே மலைப்பாக இருக்கிறது. டூல்ஸ் ஃபார் எஃபெக்டிவ் கம்யூனிகேஷன், அருமையான தலைப்பு. கம்யூனிகேட் பண்றது அப்படிங்கிறதுல மனித இனம் மிக முக்கியமானது. மற்ற இனங்களிலிருந்து சிரிப்பதனாலேயே வேறுபடுவது மனித இனம் என்பார்கள். கம்யூனிகேஷன் அவ்வளவு முக்கியமா அப்படின்னா, ஆமா அவ்வளவு முக்கியம். சொல்வன்மைன்னு அதிகாரம் பண்ற திருவள்ளுவர் பல்வேறு குறள்களை சொன்னாலும் அதுல எனக்கு பிடித்தமான வார்த்தை கேளாரும் வேட்ப மொழிவதாம் சொல். தன்னை சேர்ந்தவர்கள் மட்டுமில்லை, தன்னை வெறுப்பவனும் கூட தன் சொல்லை விரும்பி கேட்க வேண்டுமாம், அப்படி இருக்க வேண்டுமாம். தட் இஸ் எஃபெக்டிவ் கம்யூனிகேஷன். அப்போ அப்படிப்பட்ட சிறந்த கம்யூனிகேஷனுக்கு எதெல்லாம் கருவியும் உத்தியுமாகும் என்பதை சொல்லுவதற்கு பொருத்தமான ஒரு நபரை ஆங்கிலத்துறை இன்றைய அரங்கிற்கு அழைத்து வந்திருக்கிறது. அதற்காக என்னுடைய சிறப்பு பாராட்டு. நிகழ்ச்சியை ஒருங்கிணைத்து நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்ற முனைவர் ஏஞ்சலின் அவர்களையும் ஹேமலதா அவர்களையும் இந்த அரங்கில் வைத்து வாழ்த்துகிறேன். பின்புலமாக நிற்கும் நம்முடைய ஐக்யூஏசி ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர்கள் முனைவர் KN சுமதி, முனைவர் ராமசாமி கல்லூரி நூலகர் ஆகிய இருவரையும் இந்த அரங்கிலே வாழ்த்துகின்றேன். லோகேஷ் பாபு அவர்களின் உரையை கேட்பதற்கு கேளாரும் வேட்ப மொழியும் இவ்வளவு சொல்வன்மை மிக்க அவரின் பேச்சினை கேட்க நானும் அவளோடு காத்திருக்கிறேன். இந்த அரங்கினை தொடங்கி வைப்பதில் பெரிதும் மகிழ்கிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Hema?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes. The big long relationship. In this, Associate Professor and Head, Department of English, to introduce our chief guest to us.
I think I'm already introduced.
Okay. Sir, I would like to hand over the time to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you one and all for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much. I believe it all started a year and a half before when I visited your campus, M.V.M. Dindigul, a beautiful campus full of trees, full of oxygen. The need of the hour, we realize it more nowadays. I'm very sure that your students, you must be missing your campus very dearly. I've seen the happiness in you when you were there in the campus. Absolutely, the day I came the last time, we had a very productive discussion with the Department of English, as well as I always enjoy their hospitality. That day, we discussed a lot of sources and resources to be exposed and explored in terms of training the students in communication skills. So as a result, here we are today. This session is happening because of that. I also thank the IQAC for this initiative. We all know there are lots of tools. Let me start with the slide. Next one. Fine. So we all are aware of many tools that we use for communication. So, and we are not in any way shy to use technology to express our ideas. So that is one great gift this pandemic has given us. Only one, the best part in this adversity is that we all have equipped ourselves to use technology. So now coming back to the topic, uh, tools for effective communication. In that case, we can never forget the story when it comes to the using tools to the best of its effect. If once that is pronounced, we all will get reminded of the story. Absolutely, a very old story. The woodcutter and the axe. If you presume that I'm going to tell you the story about the axe which was not sharpened, no, that is not the story I'm about to tell you. My story is the other one, which is also quite familiar. This story is about a woodcutter taking a wrong side of the branch to cut. See, this is even more dangerous. Obviously, it is always good to have your tools sharpened. If your axe is not sharpened, obviously the productivity is less, becomes less. But there is no big adversity in that. Wherein, if you use the tool in a wrong way, example, sitting in this wrong side of the branch and cutting could be very fatal. That could prove very damaging. So that is my concern. Okay, so we have lots of tools nowadays available to communicate, but we should have enough cautions to use it to the best of its effect. So here, with my small experience, I would like to share a few things to the youngsters, that what are the things we should avoid and be cautious about while we practice these tools to express our feelings as well as ideas. So when talking about the common expressions nowadays, the tools which are very common are obviously emails for business and text messaging for a domestic purpose. In fact, nowadays even corporate houses have started using WhatsApp messaging to communicate. So it's everywhere. Text messaging is no more a game of youth. It has become an integral part of all the community. So it's always good to have some etiquette, to follow some etiquette, as well as to avoid some wrong practice. None of us wants to be termed as a bad communicator, whatever the language it could be. We just need few caution and some few tips from our elders where we can avoid being termed rude. So you never want to be rude, but sometimes at times you tend to be misunderstood. So for example, now I would like to have some small feedbacks from you. Okay, your students, I'm very sure you all know how to use your chat. And now I just want to see that you are all reciprocating with me. Can I see few thumbs up? Can you make use of your chat so I can see some thumbs up? Dear students, can you make use of your chat box where you have this thumb symbol where you can show your thumb? So I would be more encouraged to have this conversation going ahead. Okay, now. Good, wonderful. I'm really happy that I'm seeing some good responses. Okay, I have a question also to you. Please answer me with your thumbs up alone. Have you ever used all capital letters to express your strong feeling? If you wanted to, implement, or if you wanted to imply the importance of your message, have you ever tried all caps messaging? While messaging, have you tried all caps to imply that you are underlining it, you are imposing a point? Have you ever tried it? Can we see some more this thing? If you have tried, if you have done it, kindly give me a thumbs up. Good, I'm getting wonderful responses from you. I'm really happy. Right. See, but so I'm not alone. I have done that also long back. I hate to admit it, but I also have done that, but it is wrong. Absolutely, it is wrong. You might have noticed the slide where it has a subheading stating its errors. Absolutely, we call this a capital error because it conveys to the reader that you're shouting, you're being rude. You'll be misunderstood that you're rude. If your intention is to only emphasize, kindly do not use all caps while you're sending a message. That includes while you are sending to your while you are using mailing also, emailing. Never do that. It will be perceived as a rudeness. So better be cautious about using your capital letters. Okay. So it's a different story if you wanted to show them that you're angry. But with my experience, I tell you, when you're angry, when you're upset, when you're annoyed, kindly don't communicate. It's always best to stay silent. Okay. So forget the mobile or mailing, the etiquettes. The safeguard is not to do anything about it. Give it a time. Absolutely, you will find a better solution or better words to convey your regrets or your annoyed. Now, the next one, you might have noticed many people take time to respond, but it is okay to take rest time because messages are bound to give you that freedom of taking your time to respond. Okay, if you have received a mail or a message, if you wanted to send a letter reply, you wanted to draft it, you wanted to give a best of your reply. If you need time, don't take more than 2 days. That is what it is prescribed. Do not take more than 2 days to reply. In case if you need more time, if you need to do some research or if you need to do some thinking, you can tell them that you're working on it. You can ask an excuse to send the reply. You can send a small message stating that you need a time. So you say like noted. You can say noted. Will revert. Kind of stuff which will help the sender that you are working, and he or she will understand that you have taken them personally and you have treated them with utmost importance. So that's one thing which we can avoid, making the person who was sent. No, please don't do it. Don't delay more than 2 days. That's my word of caution to you. Okay. Now, the yapper, please don't go and Google all this jargon what I have used. You may not find it, but you please understand what I'm trying to say. Yapper means like you get a message from someone, important person, or it might be a friend, or could be a colleague or relative or someone who holds some important responsibility. If they send you a short message with, say, 1 or 2 words or 3 words, okay. If you are getting a message with 3 words, you please understand that the person who sent the message could be busy or in no position to be elaborate. So that's the gesture from them. So why I'm talking in length about messaging, because messaging is so very convenient. It gives you lots of comfort. You can work on your comfort zone. You can send according to your mood, and all that gives you the liberty, as well as there are some there can be some unbearable damage can happen. There's a room for misunderstanding. So you try to make your reply as they have given. If they have used 2-3 words, you also try to stick on with a very minimum number of words to reply. That also implies to the mailing. While you are mailing business mail, also if they have meant like very short, then we make it short, because that way we can understand the attitude of the person. Like they actually prefer short messages. So then please oblige that. That would be better. If you don't, if you cannot, you should you should either wait for some time. Okay, then I will. What would be the right time to talk in to elaborate? You can ask that. Then probably they may say the time. Then you can pick up the chat where you want to take it. Now, moving to the next one. Again, this is about responding to the messages. If you get a mail, or you send a mail, or you send a message to a person, and you have noticed that they have read it, but they haven't responded to you. So you wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and that's it. You lose your cool if you start, sending messages asking for why no response. What happened? Or you're not interested? See, this is called double texting. You are actually bombarding with your questions. Basically, the other person might have some problems in responding to you. It could be the taxing workload what they might have, or they might be in a meeting, or they may even have some signal issues. So people take the time to respond. We need to absolutely understand their requirement, their space. It's better to say we should appreciate their space. While doing it, you also develop your absolute understanding of the other person's needs. People appreciate it. Sorry. Now, I have to tell you this. Abbreviation attack. I have had lots of different attacks in my short span of life, but I have to tell you, while communicating, the most disturbing or more rattling attack I had is with abbreviations. But to the youngsters, I'm surrounded with many youngsters and students, so they always make me of my God when they send me messages with abbreviation. Now, let me ask you, like, do you know this abbreviation? IDK, INHO, BTW, BRB. Anyone? Yes, you say yes. Are you aware of this abbreviation? I'm very sure, since we are amidst the students, I'm very sure you must be aware of all this abbreviation. It's interesting. So messaging itself is short and sweet, but this is becoming very short, very microscopic. So we find it little disturbing, annoying. At times, there are no dictionaries for understanding this, and we have to call up the person who sent that abbreviation or ask for the expansion of it. It actually becomes a double effort. You can. I'm not against abbreviation, but overusing it is kind of it's put off people's mood. Now, I have a question to you. I'm very sure you're all very good in texting. Can we have the next slide? We'll have the next slide. Okay. My question to you now. Do you know what does IDK means? If you know, please message. Use the chat box to message. See, I got one message from Nagalashmi stating, I don't know. She doesn't know. Many people doesn't know. Only one has answered me, but she's said the right. Yes, absolutely. IDK means I don't know. Okay, so good. Like but why so small responses when I ask you for a very simple and I don't think thing. Okay, now we will see other words. And then in the next slide, we can see the the expansions for so they're saying like IMHO, in my humble opinion, talk to you later. By the way, BRB, be right back. Okay, I use OMG, which I'm very comfortable. So, oh my God, these are the very simple thing which I'm kind of aware. But students feel comfortable. My smallest suggestion is that make sure that we are not overusing it. Okay, now even you can see the people use okay for okay previously. People use K for okay. I sincerely suggest to my friends and circle, never use K for okay here, please. It doesn't take a lot of your time to type extra 3 letters. Okay, because when people read it, they may read like K. They may not read it okay. You know, when somebody needs your empathy, maybe it could be the situation you're saying, okay, instead you're typing K. It could be misunderstood that that you don't really care. You don't really care. You don't have that heart to say, or it may imply in that way. It could give an entirely different proposition for your K. So for okay, using K is not okay. Okay, so please spend a little more time when you wanted to express something, because you're giving your consent. You're giving your consent. You are agreeing to something. While you are agreeing to something, if the expression doesn't convey it, the receiver could be really confused of your consent. They may think you are half-hearted. You haven't actually agreed, or they are treated little shabby. They can. These are the options. These are the options they have to think or assume. Why do you have to give it when you just meant yes for it? You meant okay. So please, you can make use of this abbreviation with your friends, even with friends, because friends are also very important, right? They also shouldn't mistake. Obviously, youngsters understands better, but the practice is very difficult to change when you operate. Because I have seen many lot of official mails mistakenly, not voluntarily, by mistake they have used the messaging style. It might implies a different opinion about them. So you should also be cautious of your future. So it's old habits die hard. So it's better like to practice something correct. Well, not for everything. I'm just saying when you have to be empathetic, when you want to show your empathy, sympathy, if you have to, very, if you want to show that you are energetic and enthusiastic about that particular yes, okay, and you just say K, it's not actually convey. So consider, right? Now, let's move to the punctuation. So since we have a lot of English students, I'm very sure punctuations are not very puncturing for you, but it can be. So we should be very cautious of using punctuation. There comes our grammar training into play. Not necessarily, you don't have to get, you know, scared of from typing just because you're advised to use grammar. It's not the idea. I'm just saying about punctuations, basic rules of punctuations, then it helps you. See, for example, it could you could sound a cannibal. It can make you a cannibal if you misuse your punctuations or misplace your punctuation. Look at these punctuations. Let's eat, sister. Or you say, let's eat, sister. Let's eat, sister means you're inviting your sister to join for the dinner or for the brunch or to eat together. I don't have to tell you what it means. We say, let's eat, sister. No punctuation, no comma. It means that you're sounding like a can. Okay, so you need to be a little cautious while having a go with your typing. Most of them doesn't really care, but I think I'm using this opportunity to give you a small insight about it. It can be funny, at times it can be disastrous. There are a few things which could sound entirely opposite. So you should also give some importance and work on your punctuations to make use of this wonderful, effective tool to be precise as well as very convincing. Now, I have a small exercise for you. Okay, whoever is good in typing, please do it for us. Now, can you punctuate this sentence? Can you punctuate this sentence? Woman without her man is nothing. It's a very famous sentence. It has circulated a lot of time in WhatsApp and internet. Can anyone punctuate this sentence? As however you can do it, please do it. I'm waiting for you. I invite even the English faculty can give a go. Am I getting some responses? How we can, the total meaning of the sentence can be altered with punctuation. My last message, what I have received is, I don't know. But when she said, I don't know, she did know. Nagalashmi was correct. Now, Nagalashmi, if you're there, I encourage you to come again and do this punctuation. Can you do that? Yes or no? Why I'm not getting, I'm not able to see. Okay. So without any further delay, let's see how it can be punctuated. A woman without her man is nothing. Probably this is a version, this version is written by a man. A woman without her man is nothing. And if it has to be retaliated with,
Sir, no audio.
Ma'am, Sad has lifted. Yes, sir.
Continue.
oh, I'm sorry. I believe I had some technical issue. My broadband got disconnected, I believe. Sorry for the interruption. Shall I continue?
Okay, continue. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next one. All right. Now, we were talking about the punctuations and other stuff. Now, I would like to talk about the jumping board. Have you ever seen people not listening to you? Well, I mean, while we are trying to share a situation, I know people jump in between, assume a few things like, uh, you know, they believe that they have the liberty to interrupt, saying that if you wanted to say like, say, yesterday evening we went to the restaurant, immediately without even waiting for your completion, your friend jumps in and says, oh, more importantly, yesterday we had a visit from so and so, we visited that one. So those sort of thing which can really put off a friendship. You can see this kind of stuff in a group chatting, or you can also see that while discussing business also. People, like they don't have the continuity. They don't even wait for a reply. Before reply, they give a different topic. So that's kind of off-putting. It should be avoided. We should not jump boats on that. Again, now I'm see it's ghosting. We say it's ghosting because we are after a conversation, when we are having a conversation, if we have to leave, it is always best, even if you're conversing, chatting with your friend or a colleague, it's always good to say, I'll be back in a minute, or you should take an excuse and leave, or that short break. Instead, the people doesn't have that habit. People just disappear for a while, or they don't even come back, stating and not apologizing for their uh, absence. It goes with many situations. Who's mute? Am I mute?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. All right, fine. So it's good to not go, no, not to become a ghost is always appreciable. You yourself looked very good, and there's no need to become a ghost by disappearing without a word of goodbye, or stating that you need to go. It's always good to have departing words. It's always good. It's always appreciated by everyone. So I would strongly suggest. Don't do the uh, ghosting stuff. Okay, now when it comes to communicating, the most important thing in LSRW, many people is like they have issues only in speaking. I have communicated with many professionals, students. Most of them said they don't have issues in listening. They understand everything, but they always have a problem, or they find they are little inadequate in responding to speak back. The truth is that it's not that they all are wrong in this statement, but most of them doesn't exactly feel their deficiency in listening. I would like to give you a small story. Okay, there were a beautiful couple, elderly couple, like the one who are there in the thing. Just a minute.
You are muted.
Now. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay. This is a very interesting story about a elderly couple. They are very lovely couple. One day, the gentleman, husband, has got a doubt. He suspected his wife was losing her hearing. So he decided to test his suspicion. So he stood exactly 20 feet behind her wife and called her, "Sweetheart, can you hear me?" Unfortunately, no response from her. So you took another 5 steps forward towards her and called, "Darling, can you hear me now?" Yet there is no response. So he again takes another 5 steps. She is doing it very methodically so that I can go and explain it to the doctor. So he says from 10 feet away, behind to her, calls again, "Darling, can you hear me now at least?" No response. He really becomes sad and walks another 5 steps before and then calls her again with no response. Then finally, he walks very close to her. Just behind her back, he calls her, "Honey, can you hear me?" Then wife turns. In an irritated voice, she says, "That's the fourth time I'm saying, yes, I can hear you." So the joke is that it's not a joke. The irony is that like our gentleman didn't realize that he's having the hearing problem. This is it is universal. Like we are not tested with our listening skills enough from our school days till our college, or till we go and get employed somewhere. Because at schools we are given a book to follow. Even if we miss a lesson, we can go back and refer the lesson book which has been prescribed. And I'm tested with a test paper where I should only write. So my reading and writing skills overshadows our listening skills. Then what happens in the college? Obviously, if you miss out a lecture, or if you don't follow a lecture, if you are lost in between, you don't really care much, because you can always go back and you can take your book and quote our students' life. So their listening skills are not exactly tested. At times, yes, in the classrooms, that when the faculty asks you a question based on the lecture, then you make a small fuss about it. But we don't actually do anything much about that particular thing. So I suspect most of us have got listening, uh, issues, but we have not actually. Now, what happens with movies, English movies, or only news? You don't have much transcriptions now. Even movies, songs, all you get transcriptions. We not that we are listening, we are reading and we are understanding, and later we are able to interpret those things. So the most important skill of listening is actually taken very lightly. That's a very sad truth. So we need to understand, like. Obviously we should address that. We have that small problem, we should work on that. So it's better to listen, and we can see many people topping the story when somebody's when you're giving your version. You can see that, oh, that reminds me of that. No, you haven't you are supposed to complete your statement, but with people always they tend to top up the stories. And we have the next slide. Now, now we are taking up this session. If you are listening, while you are listening, if you're thinking about answering before even the speaker completes his version, if you start thinking about the reply, it also actually is not a good way to be a good listener. It is a listening barrier. We should allow the speaker to complete his sentence. Before that, we should not think about replying. You can see a lot of people does that. See, exactly 3 weeks back, I suddenly started feeling heated up and warmer, more than usual. My heartbeats went rapid, sweated a lot, most importantly, breathing heavily. Now I understand. Uh, so that was the time. That was the time my worst fear has come true. It has been confirmed. I got confirmed with my worst of my fear. So have you guessed that I have been positive, tested positive for COVID? If you have guessed it, I understand your the situation makes you think that way. You have interpreted it that way. But actually, my original fear is that I always suspected that I am allergic towards exercising. So I have exercised and I got all this heavy breathing, sweating a lot, and all happened only because I was exercising, not because of COVID. So we actually interpret our information even before the statement is over. So that is actually a kind of a put off thing for people. Okay. So as well as when we listen to information, we need to listen to them very actively, because there were times where you exactly you don't have the information upfront. You will the meaning is hidden. In that way, you might totally miss the bus. For example, say I was telling my friend recent time that I have problems with reading. I meant that I have vision problem. Obviously he was not listening. He was hearing, not listening. Okay, he was subconsciously he's asking me a question. What are the symptoms? I told him that I have a reading problem. I have problems with reading, and he's questioning me like, what are the symptoms? So he's concerned, but he didn't listen to me. So please understand the importance of listening without any barriers. I mean, if you start thinking or trying about thinking about the reply even before you getting the statement, it can always off put the total conversation. Now, I would like to move to the speaking thing. Now, it's now so far we have been saying what not to do. Now, I would like to move to things which we can practice. See, while speaking, even if you speak with phones, because in trainings for call centers, it is the one basic rule they teach you. Irrelevant of the phrases, they always say you better smile and speak, because it can be felt by the person who's in the other end. So at times they even keep a mirror up front in front of their cable, so that they are constantly reminded to have a smiling face. So I would suggest you, even while you are speaking through phone, because tomorrow there is a very high chance that you may get into telephonic interviews. In that case, absolutely, this practice will help, because everything needs practice, and it's a best practice. You can start having there is no cost involved. You can always have a smiling face, and there is one more thing they give even for presentation. If you have to give a presentation, if you have to meet up with a group of people with different genders and different interests, they say to have your energy to the optimum level. They say before the meeting, do something which you really like. See, for example, you can take a chat with your parents, or you can go for a walk. If you have the liberty to take a bath, you can do that. Or if you can have an ice cream or something which really gives you a great energy, that will certainly will help you to deliver your best. These are the very small ingredients, but this certainly plays a role, can give you a very important advantage, because your mind speaks a lot when you try to communicate. So the body language is there. So every time when we speak, we need to have a point that we have a very positive mindset towards that particular meeting. Now, let me go to the all important. This is the thing which I would suggest to the youngsters. while we speak as well as while we message or mail, it's easy, it's better, it's so convenient to use collocations. So collocation, so you please Google collocations. If you are not aware of collocations, so you can Google collocations and find out. See, collocations are nothing but a group of words or words which comes together, which are used by the native speaker, which sounds so very pleasing and convincing, and it also delivers a very powerful expression. See, for example, if you have to say you are alone, if you say alone, that's more than enough. It implies that you're alone. But if you choose to say I'm all alone, it carries little more impact. A small empathy, it derives some empathy. So that's the impact what you can give when you start using collocation. You have to be very choosy. You can go search the web for collocations and make a dictionary out of it. See, for example, it's always enough if you say right. If a teacher says right, you're happy about it. But assume that the teacher says you're absolutely right. You know, the energy what is transformed, it's impeccable. It's very positive. So likewise, you can these are the collocations I have for you. You say when you say like my brother is involved in politics, we understand that okay, he's in politics. But if he or she says that he's actively involved in politics, then we know like they mean business. They are professionally, they have taken politics. So such a big difference the collocations can give to your expressions. While talking about the tools for effective communication, I would certainly recommend collocations for you to practice. There are lots of collocations. There are a dictionary itself, but not all collocations are that very powerful or very expressive. There are a lot of combinations in collocations. You can select that according to your need and the situation. You can make use of it. I would never get tired of the word round of applause. You know, applause, clap always will give the statement as the needed meaning. But when you hear somebody ask for a round of applause, you know that itself sounds so very grandeur. So when somebody says stupid, but if they say utterly stupid, no, you get more. You will understand the weightage of the stupidness. So that's how things goes when it comes to usage of tools of effectively. If you want to use the communicative tools, you just need to be a little more cautious. And I just shared few of my experience what not to do, and I just want to conclude with these collocations. Thank you very much. I'm completely satisfied with this effort. Obviously, if you might take a lesson or two from this, I'd be very happy. I'd like to take this moment to thank one and all and the management of M.V.M for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining in detail with various anecdotes and your personal experiences, the expressions to be used and to be avoided. Now it's the time for vote of thanks. Because feeling gratitude and not expressing them is like wrapping a present and not giving it. It's not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude brings us happiness. Yes, in this respect, I like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Lokesh Babu, Managing Director and Head Trainer, Lady Hawk English Academy, Coimbatore, for having enlightened our students on tools for effective communication. from his lecture, I was able to understand that words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. We can choose to use this force constructively, words like words of encouragement, or destructively using words of despair. Words have energy and power with ability, that is, to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, and to humble and whatnot. Thank you so much, sir. In this respect, I also, thank you, sir. I express my wholehearted thanks, gratitude to our principal for her encouragement and motivation. I express my heartfelt thanks to Dr.G.S.Angelin, Associate Professor and Head, Department of English, who has taken strenuous efforts to arrange this program. I like to thank the IQAC coordinator, Dr. K.M. Sumathi, and the staff of English department and other fellow participants. My heartfelt thanks to Ms. Bala Saraswati, Ms. Anushya, and Ms. Karthike Jyoti, lecturers of English, for their technical support to make this webinar a resounding success. I like to conclude with this: whatever word we speak, whatever expressions we use, a smiling with thanks will always linger in our heart. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Sir, I thank you personally for sparing your time to share your thoughts with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. It's a pleasure. It's really and a pressure. Thank you. Can I take leave now? Ma'am, can I take leave? Have you concluded? Can I take leave?
Yes, sir, you can. Sir, you can take leave.